Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. I'm Van, and we are all the LFR family. I appreciate y'all clicking play. Hopefully, y'all are good to each other and yourselves. We're about to check out, what is this, Sky News Australia, and they're talking about AOC. AOC is all over the place. She's trying her best to be a good leader of the people who follow her, but unfortunately, she has some growing to do, which is okay, as long as she realizes that she has some growing to do, rather than acting as if she knows everything. Because 40 years of my life was spent believing that I knew everything. Everything. You couldn't tell me anything. If you talk to my wife, she'll tell you that. You talk to my children, they'll tell you that. But the more that I learn, I realize how much I didn't know. Hopefully she does the same. She humbles herself, and we start to see something that could actually grow into a good leader. But here we go. We about to check this out. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments.
Well, I think it's quite obvious that Democrats love the idea of illegal immigrants. They love the idea of them being in the shadows. But then when they're actually confronted with it and they have to explain it to their constituents why their shelters and their cities and their communities are being overrun, then suddenly they want to make the problem go away.
Strong words there from Fox News host Tommy Lahren, calling out Democrats for their stance on the border. She called out the left for loving the idea of illegal immigrants until they're actually confronted with a crisis on their doorstep. This comes after the fact that New York City Mayor Eric Adams had planned to set up a migrant centre in a Bronx district to accommodate an influx of illegal immigrants in the area. The district was the one in which the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez represents. But when confronted with that problem-solving idea, AOC said that she thought there was a better solution available.
I agree with them. There is a humanitarian crisis going on, and a lot of it's going on at our southern border where these migrants, these illegal immigrants are coming in. So maybe we are getting to the point, and I don't want to be overly optimistic, but maybe we are getting to the point where Democrats are finally going to start looking at the Biden administration, and they're going to say, we need an actual solution because we're being inundated, we are being overrun, the border cities and states are being inundated, and now these sanctuary cities are being inundated. Everything sounds good on paper and in a tweet until you have to deal with it in real life. AOC is finding that out. These Democrat mayors are finding it out. And I hope to goodness pretty soon the Biden administration is going to find that one out too.
I love the fact, and we're not done, it's some more to go, but I love the fact she said everything sounds good in a tweet, but until you have to physically find out yourself and do something about it yourself, then the narrative changes. So when they was trying to prevent the right from building a wall and prevent them from keeping the immigrants from coming into the United States without going through all of the proper protocol, the things that they needed to do, they were extreme. They were the loudest in the room. They were saying that that America hated immigrants. They were saying that we were doing everything wrong, just let everybody in, blah, blah, blah. But now that the immigrants are landing on their doorsteps, they now see that they can either complain about it or do something about it. Now they're having meetings right now where they have to do something. They're forced to do something about it. I believe this is what the governor of Texas and Florida realized would happen if they were to put okay, here you go. You think you can do the job better? Go ahead and do it. Usually if you do that to anybody, like, okay, if like my wife or my children or something, figure whatever my job is for the family, taking the cars to be serviced, cooking the food Monday through Saturday, because my wife, like, when my wife cooks, she cooks way better than me, but she usually don't have the time to cook and throughout the week. So I will make sure that I provide the family with that. But if they ever got to a point where they didn't like what I was doing and they thought I wasn't moving fast enough or doing it as well as they expected, and they wanted to do the job for me, I'll be like, feel free. But then they'll see how difficult it is to do all of the things that I do, just like I won't try to do the things that they do. So these Democratic states right now are starting to realize that, hey, this is very difficult. It's not as cut and dry as we thought it was going to be. So now we have to do something about it. And trust me, their speech is starting to change. And I think that's fortunate. I think it's fortunate. I was going to say unfortunate that it had to be that way, but I think it's good that they had to see for themselves so that they can respect it more. And here we go. We're moving forward now.
Maybe it'll be November, but we're hoping for a soon realization.
Now, AOC's comments about finding a better solution has not gone down well for her, as she has been an avid fighter for immigrant rights. Some social media users were angry over the comments. One person attached this photo and tweeted, "AOC is upset because a tent city is being built in her district to house illegals. Not in my district. Wasn't she the one crying at the border about how migrants are being treated?" Another wrote, "Mayor Adams will move tents for illegal aliens from Bronx after AOC throws a fit, copying her wealthy friends in Martha's Vineyard. As soon as the illegal aliens appear in public, out from the shadows, the Democratic Party shows its true racist and elitist colours."
You know what's unfortunate? What's unfortunate is she see the immigrants being helped. She see them being looked after. She see them being cared for. This could actually be something that looks good on her state. And if she spoke up in that way, like, look at us, we're taking care of them. This is how you're supposed to do it. Rather than do that, she's throwing a fit, and it's not looking good at her. It's actually making her look quite immature. Now, they're saying it's making them look racist and elitist, and that might be the case. I don't know what racist and elitist look like, to be honest with you, but I can see why that statement was made by Perry Felwalk, whomever that may be. But at the end of the day, rather than throwing a fit, AOC, might you see the positivity in it all? And I guess if you want to play politics, you can then say we're handling this issue way better than you guys handle this issue. We're building them housing. We're doing something about them. We're providing them with blah, 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 blah. You know, jobs, food, clothing, and shelter, the way that you're supposed to do with our neighbors, because the Bible says this, that, and the third. There's ways that you can speak about it, and I'm sure people from your team probably even suggested some of these things, and if they didn't, you should probably get a new team. You should probably consider it, because this right here could look good on your record if you play it properly. And I say play it because it is politics, and unfortunately you're out there crying or acting like you're crying the same way that you was acting like you was getting arrested and all these other things. Be true to what you believe. Do you even believe anything, or are you simply playing a game? Right now, you're allowing yourself to be exposed, and you're looking as foolish as people actually believe you are. Don't do that. You have a bunch of people behind you who believe in you. You need to consider them as you move forward with whatever you put out there in the public. Just consider that. All right. Consider the people who are following you and believe in you. Also, consider the fact that I don't know if your family were immigrants before. I don't know. All right. I'm not even going to put that out there. But if they were and they did things properly and things were able to happen for you and your family in a positive direction, then you should consider this when you're talking about all these illegals who are coming over here and being sent to all these different cities, and New York decide to do something positive for them. You should probably say, you know what? Great job, New York. Let's go. Let's see how we can make this work, huh? Let's make some lemonade out of lemons. Consider that. That's just, and not that she's ever going to see this unless you guys share this. I wish you all would share this, because these people need to see reactors or regular people, just regular people with platforms. They need to see regular people with platforms who have something constructive to say, and not just beating them down with rhetoric that will probably make them feel less than. Because for her to accomplish what she's accomplished so far, she has to be intelligent in some way, shape, or form. It's just the way that she's using her power and the way that she's expressing herself publicly might not be the best moves. Whoever's advising her might not be doing a good job. Might not be doing. That didn't sound right. But maybe they're not the right people for her. Maybe she needed a better team. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe she needs a better team, because obviously the moves she has been making lately has not been looking good for her. Maybe for the people who believe in her, she probably think, oh, my people believe that this will be the best thing to do, so this is what I'm going to do. Not necessarily, because your own people are about to start turning on you, and rather than lining yourself up to possibly be potential candidate for president in the future, you're going backwards.
Suddenly unwoke. AOC wants tent city for illegal aliens moved out of her district, another wrote. Finally, the political pleasantries didn't last long. AOC rips Mayor Adams' migrant tents in her district. We can get to a place with a better solution. The situation at the southern border of Texas is critical. The country is experiencing record high numbers of illegal immigrants crossing into the United States. So far in the 2022 fiscal year, Border Patrol agents have encountered 2.1 million migrants, and that's just the number of those they've seen. It has been one of the big political issues for the country for years, but in the last few years, the numbers have soared. States like Texas, which borders Mexico, have bared the brunt of immigrants flocking to the area from Central and South American countries. Republican leaders from Texas, Arizona and Florida, which doesn't even border Mexico, have begun busing migrants to Democratic states. These include New York, Washington, Chicago, Sacramento in California, and even Martha's Vineyard, which is an upmarket holiday destination for the elite in Massachusetts. Critics believe that those leaders misled migrants into believing that they were being taken there for a better life, but in actuality were being used for a political stunt.
But they was being taken there for a better life. They're obviously escaping something that's worse than Martha's Vineyard, regardless of the reason why they were sent to New York, D.C., Martha's Vineyard, or wherever else they were sent. According to the immigrants themselves, it's a better life from what they're running from. Unless you guys just seen on the internet that in whatever country you're from, that is a free for all. Everybody should just go to America because that's where everybody's doing well. We should probably go over there. Everybody, let's go. And if you were hearing that it was a free for all and you decided, and I'm talking to the immigrants as if they will even understand me at all. They might not. So unless somebody might share this and put some type of captions with their language on it, that would just let them know that they gambled. And the word on the street is they are escaping from conditions that are far worse than what they're running into here. They will much rather cross a river, risk their entire families being arrested and detained and living in the streets until somebody provide them with an opportunity than to stay in their countries where they're from. So whether they're being sent to Martha's Vineyard, New York, D.C., and it's for political strategy or not, they chose to be a part of this. It's how the U.S. decide to handle these immigrants, as long as they don't hurt them or, take their lives or separate their families or, just be disrespectful to them in any type of way. The U.S. do not have to do anything for any immigrants because they are not citizens. When are people going to realize that? It's beautiful that they do, because from what I'm seeing, every single time they're being sent to all these different cities, they're getting off of buses with bags. They all have bags. It's bags of something in their hand. I don't know if it's toiletries. I don't know if it's food. Whatever it may be, they are provided with this. And then they are getting to these cities in much better fashion than they've gotten to the country. So whether they was playing political games or not, these people chose to be a part of this.
When Florida Governor Ron DeSantis paid for 50 illegal immigrants to be taken to Martha's Vineyard last month, it created a lot of controversy. He was slammed for the inhumane treatment of migrants. However, Democrats were criticised for ignoring the fact that the border has seen 2 million migrants at its doorstep in 2022 alone. Latina Democrat Gloria Romero called out her own party for its reaction at the time.
So here we are facing a border that has not been secured for quite some time. Over 2 million migrants coming through, and it took only 50 brown people showing up in one of the most exclusive Democratic enclaves without leaf blowers and without mops for it to be declared a national emergency.
Wow.
And to get the media focused on this. It's absolutely hypocritical.
The way she said, without leaf blowers and without mops, meaning that they came over here and they wasn't ready to do any work. And when y'all noticed that, y'all got pissed off. Y'all thought that y'all was about to get some freebies, like y'all lawns and houses was about to be clean for free. Y'all looked out there like, oh, what's about to happen around here? We about to redo the neighborhood? What's going on? Oh no, they just are hoping that we can provide them with shelter. We need to get them up out of here. We don't like seeing them on our lawn. Do something with them, please. This is one of the most expensive neighborhoods in the United States, probably even the world. Y'all need to get rid of them. And these are people who are the most powerful people in the world, like world leaders, presidents, ex-presidents and whatnot, and billionaire entertainers who live in Martha's Vineyard. And that's just one of their many whatever properties that they own. This is crazy, man. Somebody need to do something about it. But I said in one of my last videos, some of the loudest people will have to humble themselves and deal with what they've been criticizing other people for. And the chickens have come home to roost. What can I say? Y'all let me know whatever y'all want me to know in the comments below. If you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Once again, guys, I'm Van, and now we are all the LFR family, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video, hopefully inside the Patreon as well. Y'all have been amazing per usual. Love y'all.